We better buckle up because alarm bells are going off all over the place right now, and things are about to go from troubling to catastrophic in the U.S. economy. And Putin and China, they smell blood in the water. They already know what's coming. We've got a lot of really important news items to talk about today that we need to pay attention to because right now there are a lot of like MAGA influencers out there trying to gaslight you. Everything's fine. This is America's golden era. Okay. They're lying about what's happening right now because we have the numbers. We've got collapsing consumer confidence numbers right now, the lowest approval ratings of Trump's second term right now, and a world that's watching America stumbling on its face, $38 trillion in debt. And it's all happening at the same time. This is like a perfect storm. So today we're going to unpack exactly what's happening, the latest numbers that just came out, what it means for your wallet, why Russia just made a major military move overnight while Washington is still pretending that everything's fine. But I'm also a big believer in the Warren Buffett idea of investing, which is when, stuff is hitting the fan, we always have some silver linings and opportunities to talk about. So I'll talk about that a little bit later. But first, let's start with this new University of Michigan survey. And just so you understand, this university study is the oldest and most respected consumer study in America, and it's the same one that Zero Hedge today is calling the loudest alarm bell yet. Take a look at this. It shows that U.S. consumer sentiment just hit a record low. Think about that. It's not just bad. That's a record low. Lower than during the fake pandemic, lower than during the 2008 housing collapse. Now, if you're not familiar with what the consumer sentiment actually measures, it's one of the most important gauges of the U.S. economy. It's basically how confident or fearful Americans feel about their own financial situation and the economy as a whole. When that number drops, it means people are scared. They're pulling back on spending, putting off big purchases, saving whatever they can right now. And new data just came out last week showing Americans right now at the highest level ever are living paycheck to paycheck. More Americans than ever before are living paycheck to paycheck. And since consumer spending makes up about 2/3 of the entire U.S. economy, when that sentiment collapses and people don't want to go out to dinner, can't afford to buy presents for Christmas, then the whole system starts to seize up and collapse just like 2008. By the way, I know Trump was praising the stock market is up. Yeah, because when the stock market goes up, when companies lay off tens of thousands of employees like Microsoft just did or Chipotle is planning to do, all of these companies laying off workers, that buoys their stock. So when you have this consumer sentiment number right now, it's like watching the heartbeat of the economy slow down in real time. Until what? It flatlines? But President Trump spent last week gaslighting the American people on this. Says Americans feel much better about the economy.
Well, they feel better about our country right now, other than the shutdown, obviously, which is caused by the Democrats, could be ended by the Democrats in 2 minutes. They feel much better. We have more jobs. We just set a record on jobs. You do know that?
I mean, I don't know what he's talking about. Other than that, that's pure gaslighting. I mean, I know he's trying to be a cheerleader, but the numbers don't lie. And that's just simply not true. And here's the bottom line from that consumer report. The U.S. consumer economy is about to get totally wrecked. You don't need a PhD in economics to see it. People are losing their jobs in numbers that we haven't seen since 2003. Evictions are also ticking up. Auto repossessions are skyrocketing. Yeah, they're just showing up to people's homes, taking their cars back because they can't afford to pay their auto loan anymore. Then there's the student loan defaults, already breaking records. And yet we're told that we are living in a golden era. I want to believe that, right? I mean, you're playing on my hopes and dreams that we are in a golden era, but right now that's not true. I mean, President Trump literally last week gave a speech where he sounded like Kamala Harris. Everything's fine in this economy.
It's frankly a very different world. America is back, and America is respected perhaps like never before. Our economy is roaring.
I keep saying this, that America is roaring back, that this is the start of a new boom. Maybe. But when you're standing in line at a food bank and when your rent just went up $400 a month, when you're maxing out your credit cards to pay for groceries, that doesn't feel like a boom. This is gaslighting on a national scale right now. The political class can put whatever numbers they want on a chart, but the real America is bleeding out right now. One of my heroes, Dr. Ron Paul, says that there is a huge disconnect between the Trump administration's description of the economy and the economy that we all live in.
The news is coming out. There's some in the leadership of this country are saying this is the golden age of economics. It's just wonderful. But the subject we're going to start with doesn't show that it's so golden.
And that pain is now showing up in the polls. According to new numbers out this week, Trump's approval rating just hit a new low for his second term, lower than Biden's at this point during his presidency, lower than Obama. Working class Americans who voted for Trump, they're fed up. Independents who voted for Trump, young people particularly who voted for Trump, and middle-aged voters are starting to lose patience with this Trump agenda. They're not buying the everything's fine narrative. I mean, again, it's in the numbers. I'm not making this up. That collapse in approval is exactly why Russia and China are moving right now, because when a president's approval tanks, so does his leverage on the world stage. Putin and Xi can see this clear as day. They know Trump can't afford another foreign crisis. He can't afford to look outward when he's fighting to hold on right now at home. So they're pressing their advantage. I mean, just look what happened this weekend as Russia's army successfully encircled the Kupiansk region, a key Ukrainian stronghold. And the U.S. can't do anything about it. Europe is a disaster, so they're not doing anything either. That's not just a tactical victory. That's a signal from Putin that we've got a mission to compete while the U.S. government is shutting down. America is collapsing. It tells the world that Russia believes the U.S. and Europe are too distracted, too broke, too politically divided to do anything about it. Europe's totally tapped out. I don't know if you see the new numbers out of Germany. Their economy is on the precipice of a total disaster. America is preoccupied. And for the first time since the Cold War, the balance of global power is shifting right in front of us, not because of bombs, but because of debt, denial, and total distraction. Putin knows Trump is cornered politically right now. He knows this administration can't focus on Ukraine while Americans are drowning economically. They'll be crushed in the midterms. Like if that's the strategy Republicans want to go with, like focusing on Israel, focusing on Ukraine, and America is being crushed, they're going to be destroyed during the midterm elections. Our enemies don't need to defeat us militarily. They just need to wait for us to implode financially. And that's exactly what's happening right now. We're seeing the housing market freeze right now. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary last week, talked about we are already likely in a housing recession. And young people are being particularly crushed. I mean, look at those new unemployment numbers among young people. These numbers are like jaw-dropping when I saw them yesterday. 9.2% for 20 to 24-year-olds. This is double the national average. They're getting out of college with enormous debt. They can't find a job in their field. They can't pay back their student loans. And on top of that, they're growing in this massive amount of credit card debt. Charlie Kirk told Tucker Carlson shortly before he was assassinated that young people are getting desperate.
But almost all of them are like, Charlie, I don't know what to do. Like trading crypto till 2 a.m. and kind of, betting that the Green Bay Packers are going to win the Super Bowl. That's not enough for me. Charlie, what can we do? And one of the reasons they voted for Trump is they said, President Trump, please reorder this economy for us because it's severely disordered.
This is a national disaster right now. Denial is not a solution, but that's what these politicians are selling, gaslighting all of us. And that seems to be the GOP strategy heading into 2026 and 2028. Become George Washington. Focus here. No one voted for any of that stuff. No one. No young person voted for Trump to be up Benjamin Netanyahu's ass. No young person voted for us to be involved in Ukraine. He said he would end that war on day one. No one in America besides Mark Levin, Ted Cruz, and Randy Fine want us to put Israel before America's interests. Not me. No American that I know. I have not met one American that wants us to put another country before us. So stop it right now. He has to triple down on America, jobs, manufacturing, energy independence, or his presidency is finished. And J.D. Vance, good luck. I mean, good luck. What kind of a shit show of a record is he going to be able to run on in 2028? There's no sugarcoating it. I'm not sugarcoating this at all. I'm finished with this kind of behavior. Putin and Xi are betting that Trump can't fix it. They're betting that America's decline is irreversible. And honestly, if you look at the data, it's hard to argue with them. $38 trillion in debt. Countries all over the world ditching the U.S. dollar. They're buying gold like crazy, settling transactions in their own currencies instead of the United States dollar. That's why I've been saying this for months. Don't wait for Washington to save you. We need to be protecting our families. No one in D.C. is going to save us.